Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we're finally unboxing my gold play button that of course we received for hitting 1 million subscribers. In addition to that, I'm finally getting to some of your Q&A questions. I asked you guys a few months ago when we were about to hit 1 million subscribers if you could submit questions to me and I would pick some at random and then select them. I've picked what I believe to be 15 of, sort of the best for this type of video. So it's stuff about YouTube in particular, ways that you can start on YouTube, why I started YouTube, and also stuff like what games and, like horror stuff that I like, what got me into horror, just kind of questions that are pertinent to this type of video. So I'll be answering those throughout the course of the video, but first we're going to get to the gold play button unboxing. Now, it's really, really hot in this room today. It's a baking hot English summer. We don't have a lot of those, but it's sort of like 26 degrees today or something. And my room is basically like completely shut down. There's no open windows or anything, so it's just like a heat box. We've got lights on, we've got a computer on. You can probably see I'm sweating a bit, but it's okay. We'll get through it. It's worth it for the gold play button unboxing. You guys have helped me get here. I want to share this moment with you. Now, it's a big box. It's not like the silver play button. It's huge. I've obviously scratched off my address, but this is massive. This is the actual play button in here. So, yeah, we're going to get it out now. Okay, I think I've got into it. We might need the box cutter again. I don't know. All right, let's open it. It's all ready. Ooh, look at that. It's got foam inside. And here is the play button itself. This is heavy, guys. This is actually heavier than I thought. I don't think it's real gold, surely. Wow, okay. So here we go, let's take this nice bit of plastic off. And there it is. It says presented to SuperHorrorBro for passing 1 million subscribers. So here we go, guys, that is the SuperHorrorBro 1 million gold play button. I probably showed you my sweaty armpits then, I'm really sorry. Didn't mean to do that, but it's hot in here. This is hot work, this is a heavy thing to hold. But yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, thanks guys for helping to get here. And thanks to YouTube for presenting me with this amazing award. It will go on the shelf behind me. Well, the wall behind me, I should say. Let's pop it down. Okay, now I don't know if that looked any good on camera. I couldn't really see what I was doing, but I was trying to show it you best I could. And now we're going to read the letter that came with it as well. So this is from the team at YouTube, and they said, "You did it. One mission, one channel, and one more thing. 1 million subscribers. Congratulations! You may have started with just a few viewers, but your incredible voice, passion, and creativity has now touched the lives of so many people around the world, and the community that you've built is immeasurably enriched by the stories that you've shared as you bring people together. To honour your incredible milestone, we are proud to present you with the Gold Creator Award. We hope that this special recognition will inspire you and remind you how much you mean to so many. We know this milestone is one of many that you have reached, with others yet to come. You are part of a dynamic group of creators who are building the next generation of new media companies. Every day you are refining how content is created and watched, one voice and one video at a time. It is a great privilege to be part of your journey, and we can't wait to see what you do next. Yours sincerely, Susan at YouTube." So there we go, guys. That is from the CEO of YouTube. Obviously, she didn't write and sign this letter herself. It's just a generic letter, but it's still nice they sent this, So I think with that, guys, I just want to sort of wrap up this section of the video by saying a massive thank you to all of you who have enabled me to get to 1 million subscribers via following my videos, giving them views, and of course subscribing to the channel, which got me to the milestone. It's been an incredible journey. We've been doing YouTube now, I think, for about 4.5 years. I think it'll be the 5th year of this November, so almost half a decade now, and we've got to 1 million subscribers. And the interesting thing is, we're just kind of skyrocketing at the moment, because I hit 1 million back in May, but we're already at 1.1 million nearly at the time of making this video, so we've gone up to something like 90,000 more subscribers in like 2 months. So, maybe we'll hit 2 million in the next year, I don't know, but certainly, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just impressive to me, and it kind of like blows my mind a bit. And I just want to say thank you, because, it's because of you guys that I'm able to do this and make the videos I love and bring this community together so we can all enjoy it. So yeah, thank you for that, guys, and thanks for getting me to 1 million so we can get that gold play button. Just wanted to share the moment today. I'll be putting it up behind me on the wall so that next time I do a live stream or something, you'll see it sort of hanging on the wall, which is pretty nice. But with that, we're going to move on to your questions to me, and I could only pick 15 because otherwise this video would go way too long. So I've picked 15 that I thought were like some of the better ones for this type of video. If I haven't got to your question, because I did have like 250 questions or something, I do apologize. But maybe next time I'll probably do a Q&A again at some point. So with that said, guys, let's dive into your questions and see what you've asked me. The first question we have is from Ivor Zal, who asks, do you ever plan to expand your channel to incorporate more? Always loved your content, but on occasion my blonde brain always keeps misreading it as bros. Well, that's fine, because I used to actually be called Super Horror Bros. In the early days of the channel, I used to do this with a friend for the first like 4 or 5 months of the channel's life, and he kind of got bored and left. We used to do Let's Plays together, and it was called Super Horror Bros. But when he left, I changed it to Super Horror Bro, and I took the channel in a new direction, and now it's just Super Horror Bro. So if you get confused ever, don't worry, the email is even Super Horror Bros, because we set it up as that originally. But to move on to your question, will I ever do any more content outside of gaming stuff? Probably. I used to actually do other types of videos where it was more like sort of dark horror stuff, and I guess I kind of moved away from that when the whole adpocalypse hit, because it was like stuff that would just get demonetized instantly. And also because I felt like if I focused on one area and really built the gaming side up, that would actually help my channel grow and be healthier than doing like all this different types of content. Since then, I've done that, guys, and I've really grown the channel around gaming, but I would certainly like to get back to normal horror videos, looking at urban legends, looking at creepypastas, looking at, you know, true crime perhaps. It's something that like I will probably do at some point, do a bit more variety horror content, but for now I'm definitely focused on the gaming stuff. So it's kind of like a wait and see. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying yes, but I would like to do that at some point and move back to sort of other types of horror just to keep things interesting and fresh. So that's kind of the best way I can answer your question for now, but thanks for asking it. Okay, secondly, I've got questions from someone called Suri Anna, and they've asked 3 different questions. I'm going to pick the one that I think works best in the context of this video, which is, what was your first horror game? So my first horror game is an interesting story. I sort of come from the era of the Sega Mega Drive. That was my first game console when I was like really little, like a sort of 5-6-year-old kid. And when I was playing on the Sega Mega Drive, the games back then, we didn't really have a lot of horror games. The only kind of horror games that really existed were like on the PC side of things, which I didn't obviously have access to. I just had a games console. But there was like 1 or 2 exceptions, and one of those is a series called Splatterhouse. And I remember one time my dad brought Splatterhouse 2 back from the local Blockbuster. Basically, you play this guy in a mask. He looks kind of like Jason from Friday the 13th. And you went around trying to save your girlfriend in this like old castle, basically beating up these grotesque monsters. And just, you know, it was just a beat 'em up like Streets of Rage or something, but with loads of gore and like scary bits and stuff. And for its time, it was actually quite scary, you know. There weren't a lot of horror games, as I said. So yeah, like me as a little kid, I don't know how old I would have been, like 6 or 7, playing Splatterhouse 2, it just kind of mortified me. And there was no age ratings on games back then. You know, back then games were just looked on as things for kids, so all the games were just the same age rating pretty much. So nobody really had any idea that stuff would be unsuitable for a young kid. So my dad brought this game home and he was playing it, and it just kind of made me feel, I don't know, really terrified at the time. Now I look back on it and I think that's actually an amazing game because it was a really cool game. And it's what got me into horror games probably, because I kind of was really scared by it, but it gave me that adrenaline rush and I wanted more horror. And then a few years after that, I would play like Resident Evil on the PS1, and that really kind of made me fall in love with sort of horror games. So I guess the game that really like made me fall in love with horror was Resident Evil 1 on PS1. But the game that kind of I first experienced as a horror game was Splatterhouse 2 on the Mega Drive. Third question, guys, we have from Bayleaf Sage, who's asked, who inspired you to create your own YouTube channel, or did you simply want to start one? And congrats on 1 million. Well, thanks, Bay, for the congratulations on 1 million. Thanks for being here and part of the channel. I think what inspired me to create this channel was a mixture of seeing other people do it successfully. I kind of just wanted to do something where it allowed me to expand my editing knowledge, where it also allowed me to talk about gaming, which is something that I really have a passion for. You know, I'm a big gamer in my real life. Outside of YouTube, I just play games all the time, so it allowed me to incorporate that into a hobby, I guess, outside of just playing games. And then when I started actually making some kind of money from it, which I didn't ever expect to actually happen, I realized that it could be a job as well. So I guess the inspiration came from just seeing other people do it successfully and wanting to apply my creativity to a platform like YouTube, where you're allowed to upload pretty much whatever you like, as long as it's obviously within the terms of service. So yeah, I think anybody who feels inspired to do the same, just give it a go. As long as you've got like a microphone or something, you can just record your audio and talk about something that, is important to you and make content on it. And that's really great. And that's, no matter what people say about YouTube, I know it's got its issues, at least it still does allow creators to have a voice and share, their passion for stuff, which is what I love about YouTube. The next question is from Max Games, who asks, if you could work on a horror game, what would you like to create and what would it be like? Also, congrats on 1 million subs. So again, thanks Max for the congratulations there. And game-wise, I actually do have various game concepts that I'm planning to make at some point. What I would really like to do if I ever get the time is to start up a small company for games development and actually make a few of these little game ideas that I have. Obviously, it does require money, time, and other people to collaborate with me. I couldn't do it all by myself. But yeah, I have some ideas for horror games, and they're quite wacky and weird because, I don't know, there's so many horror games out there that are just the same thing these days. And if I made one, it would probably be quite a small project, but it would be something quirky and different to, I think, what a lot of people might expect me to release. So yeah, I've got some ideas. I don't want to share them because obviously, like, people might hear about the ideas that I have and take them and make them before I get a chance to. But I do have ideas, and I would like to make some games in the future. So yeah, stay tuned. Maybe in a year or 2 years, I'll finally get around to doing that. And once I do, this will be the best place to come because I'll actually announce on the channel, I've got a game in production and this is when it's going to come out and this is the platform you're going to be able to buy it on. So yeah, stay tuned. If I ever get to that point, I'll announce it and let you guys know all about it. The next question we have is from Liam Webster, who says, if horror games were not a genre of gaming, what would be the genre of the gaming world that you would base your YouTube channel on? So this is kind of a nice question, and the reason I picked this is because I actually have a love of gaming across the board. People see me as the horror guy because obviously SuperHorrorBro is a horror channel, but to be honest, I've many times thought, oh, could I have another channel where I just cover other types of games? Because, like, I recently played through Ratchet and Clank on the PS5, for example. Not a horror game at all, completely different genre. It's basically like a family-friendly sort of action-adventure platform game. I just absolutely loved that game, and if I had a channel for general gaming, I would have probably done a review on that and talked about my thoughts on it. So sometimes I wish I had a second channel. I'm not talking about, my Twitch stream sort of archive channel, but like a proper second channel where I could do general gaming stuff, because I would do like news coverage, reviews, and maybe, even the odd preview of a game that I was excited for. But the fact of the matter is, guys, I just don't have time for that. But yeah, if I wasn't covering horror stuff, I would be covering anything else really, like especially action adventure games. I really like stuff like Tomb Raider, Uncharted, The Last of Us. But I hope that's sort of answered your question. I know I kind of ranted for a little bit there. Okay, the next question is from Parsiman, and they say, what is a cliche or trope of horror games that you love versus one that bores you or annoys you? So for me, I really love horror games that embrace the silly side as well. Like, they can be like really scary and have dark elements, but they also don't take themselves too seriously. They have a bit of campy fun, and, it's why I love Resident Evil. Resident Evil is kind of super serious in one aspect, but then it's also really over the top and silly. Stuff like Bendy and the Ink Machine, FNAF, Dark Deception, Little Nightmares, all of these kinds of games have serious elements and sort of doom and gloom to them, but they also acknowledge the sort of fun, entertaining, quirky side of what they're doing and have a lot of humor in them. And I kind of like horror that's like that, where it's not super, super serious. It's kind of just fun, over the top. I do like some serious stuff. I mean, you look at Silent Hill, for example. That's a series that definitely doesn't have too much humor in it, but I do prefer, if you're asking me, what I really love about horror and sort of the cliches and stuff, it's that kind of campy B-movie style like horror game that we get quite a few of these days. In terms of stuff that I don't like an over-reliance on jump scares. It gets frustrating and annoying after a while. Jump scares work when they're used sparingly throughout an experience, so maybe you get like 1 or 2 an hour here and there. If you're using them like every sort of few minutes, it just gets like, you just roll your eyes and you're just like, that's not scary, it's just lame. So I think jump scares are really effective, but you've got to use them right when building a horror game, because if you bombard people with that, it becomes a cliche like you're talking about, and it's one that I don't particularly care for. So yeah, that's basically, I guess, the cliche that I like versus the cliche that I don't. And to follow that up, we've got another kind of pertinent question to that from Scribble Studio, who says, has continuous exposure to horror games numbed your feeling of fear, or do you still get scared? So mostly I don't really get scared by horror games that much anymore, I will be honest, but there are moments in effective horror games that will really freak me out. Things that I'm not expecting perhaps, like a certain type of atmosphere or a certain type of build up to something and the payoff isn't what I'm expecting. If it catches me off guard, or just throws something particularly freaky like a really creepy monster design with really good sound design at me, then I can still be really scared by it. So that's what you see on my Let's Plays. People always say, why are you so chilled when you play horror games? It's because I am desensitized to them and I don't put on like an act for YouTube. Maybe heightening it a little bit, but basically just how I would be if I were playing a game anyway. And so that's why I'm often just kind of chilled playing it. But it can, as you've seen in some of my Let's Plays, catch me off guard and really freak me out sometimes. So I can get scared is the long and short of it, but it's hard to scare me, so it takes a good horror game to scare me, I will say that much. Alicia Hurd asks, I love spooky horror movies and facts, creepypasta stuff, urban legends, the basic spooky stories brought me to your channel. Would you consider bringing back that series? So Alicia's asking about stuff like creepypastas, I think, and urban legend videos in particular, which I used to do, as I said earlier in this video. And just, to echo what I said before, that's something that I do want to bring back, but it won't be for a while. It's a case that if I do expand this channel and manage to do that successfully, that's the stuff that will get brought back. So it's at the moment on a horizon, far off, but the ship hasn't sailed, it might return to port at some point. It's a really weird metaphor. But yeah, don't worry, I'm still going to look into that stuff and perhaps bring it back at some point. The next question comes from JB, and he said, when did you have the idea of starting YouTube, and what advice would you give to somebody thinking about starting YouTube? And also congratulations on 1 million subscribers, you deserve it. So thanks JB for that, and yeah, this is a question that I really did want to answer for this video. If you're going to try and start YouTube, my best advice is go for it, because, anybody can do it these days. You don't need expensive equipment. I have expensive equipment now, but for the first couple of years that I was doing YouTube, I had a pretty cheap microphone, I had a pretty cheap webcam, and you don't even need a webcam because most of my videos are just voiceover videos, aren't they? I would say what you want to do is have, obviously, access to a computer, get some kind of editing software on it. You don't have to get, Adobe Premiere like I use. You can get quite cheap and easy ones to access these days. There are plenty of articles online about where to get affordable edit software. If you really are struggling for money, just start with Windows Movie Maker or something that's free, I think. Yeah, just get yourself a microphone. That's the one thing I would invest in, is a semi-decent microphone if you can afford to. Otherwise, just use a headset microphone or something. And yeah, get used to using programs like Audacity to clean up your sound, because even on a bad microphone, a program like Audacity, which is free to download, that will give you good sound quality when you learn how to sort of basically balance your levels and stuff. Once you've done that, guys, you just want to make videos on stuff that you're passionate for. I would always recommend just spending a couple of days making a video that's really worthwhile. The reason I spend several days on my videos is because I'm passionate about what I'm making, so if I sink 20 hours into a video, I don't really care because I want to make that video. I couldn't do that if it was something I wasn't passionate for, because it would be soul destroying, I'd just burn out all the time. So pick something that you actually have a passion for. Pick something you're interested in and then make a video on it. Spend as much time as you can making that video right, upload it. It might not get any views to begin with, but if it's a good video, it should get views at some point and pick up traction. Also, be consistent. Try and get 1 or 2 videos a week done. I see people all the time start YouTube and they're really hammering it for the first month or two, a video every single day without fail, and it looks really impressive. But then because they haven't done YouTube before and they don't realize like how tiring it becomes, doing these videos constantly, after a couple of months, they start burning out and then they just don't want to do it anymore and they kind of have to force themselves to do it, or they just give up early. It's better just to do a couple of videos a week, be somewhat consistent, and make content that you enjoy and you think other people will enjoy as well. Don't expect to get paid is all I'll say, you know? Because when I started, I didn't expect to make any money, and for the first year, I didn't really. It was about 9 months, actually, I think, until I started making money through YouTube. In that time, I was making videos regularly, I was working on my YouTube every day, but I was just having fun at making stuff like game theories and Let's Plays and just stuff like that I enjoyed, you know? If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't have got to where I am today. So, yeah, I guess the golden rules are you don't need lots of expensive equipment, just get a good mic and get yourself, you know, some free software that will help you make your videos. Then make videos that you're passionate about on topics that you're interested in, and be consistent with your uploads. Keep doing those 3 things, and basically, over time, you can't fail. Like, you might not get to super success, but you will at least be seen by people and will have people in your community watching your videos and enjoying them. And for me, that's the most rewarding part of it, is seeing you guys like comment on the videos and say, oh, I really enjoyed that. And, you know, it kind of makes me happy because I think, well, it was worth my time then, wasn't it? We've got an interesting name next, Hamburger on a Plate, who says, what's the best part about being a YouTuber? So for me, the best part about YouTubing is having you guys, having a wonderful fan base who basically, like I said in the last question, just is there watching my videos. You know, as soon as I upload a video, I wait like half an hour and then I go and look through the comments and I see people enjoying it. Sometimes not enjoying it, but like usually you guys enjoy the videos and you're being really positive, and it just makes me feel happy because I think I spent 2-3 days on this video and now people are enjoying it and it was worth all that work. So I think that is the best part for me about YouTubing, is having you guys watch the videos, enjoy them and give me that feedback, seeing the community thriving. You guys are just amazing. Like, I can't say that enough. You are really amazing, so thank you so much. And I guess secondary to that would just be having the ability to create stuff that I am passionate about and upload it for the world. There's nothing really quite like that. I think, again, just to give YouTube some props and some praise, that is what it's great for. You know, allowing people to have a voice and upload stuff that they're passionate about for free and even make money on it through ad revenue and stuff. So to summarize, the best parts about being a YouTuber is you guys, and obviously being creative and making videos that I'm passionate about and uploading them for everyone to see. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I really love about YouTube. Next, we have the real biggest LEGO fan, Connor, and he's asked, what's your favorite horror game that you've played on the channel? It's kind of quite recent, but Little Nightmares 2, that was a playthrough where everybody was watching it on my channel and you guys just couldn't wait for the next episode. There was a real buzz and a vibe around it. I had an absolute blast playing the game. There were little memes born out of that playthrough. There was just like loads of, I guess, viewership and positive buzz around it, and it was just amazing, like seeing you guys receive it so well and knowing that the next episode was going to be like really good and you would enjoy it when that went up, knowing how much that I enjoyed it myself playing through that game. Like, I've played through that game now 5 or 6 times. I absolutely loved it. It's probably like one of my games of the year. So I think that's been my favorite playthrough. Second to that is Half-Life Alyx, which I didn't play through on the channel, but I played through to make videos on the channel, and that in VR was just like one of the most insane horror game experiences I've ever had. And I kind of wish I'd done a playthrough on the channel now, even though it would have been like really hot in that mask filming it all. But I had such a blast playing it, and it might be a game I stream in the future. And I think this year there will be some more in the running, because if Bendy and the Dark Revival drops, like, Bendy helps launch my channel, and I'm so excited for that game. So I feel like that could be, you know, up there as well, like, definitely. We'll have to see, but yeah, stay tuned for that one. That'll be a fun playthrough as well, I think. We're coming to Double Dave 33 next, who says, is YouTube something you've always wanted to do, or did it just kind of happen? So it wasn't something that I always wanted to do. I actually wanted to be a filmmaker long ago. When I was a teenager and stuff, and in my early 20s, I always wanted to make films. And then I sort of moved into YouTube and sort of decided that that was what I wanted to do in the later half of my 20s. So yeah, I kind of really wanted to make films when I was younger. And it just didn't work out in the end. It's very hard to get into the film industry. And I think YouTube and potentially games development, if that's something I get into, is a fantastic way where I can write and tell my stories and essentially just, make films, but in a different way, I guess, because I guess my videos are like little films sometimes. So yeah, to answer your question, YouTube wasn't what I always wanted to do. I kind of fell into it, but I'm glad I did because I'm really enjoying it now, and look how far we've come with it, We have Mayo Sauce next, who says, "Hi Mike, hopefully you're doing well and are safe. My question is, what inspired you to make horror games explained videos, or your YouTube channel in general from the start, and what makes you like the horror genre in general? Also, congratulations on the 1 million milestone." And she also says, "I've been your fan for years, holy moly." So yeah, thanks Mayo Sauce for that. That's a nice kind of like big question there with like lots of praise for me on top, which is always nice, massage that ego. But seriously, like, yeah, I do appreciate all of you guys being here, and so thanks for such a nice question there. So the reason that I do horror games explained and monsters explained and stuff is simply because I saw that not many people were really doing this type of video. Like, obviously game explained videos have always been a thing, but there weren't a lot of channels that just specialized on that. So I thought, I'm going to take this and try and make something. And yeah, I've kind of started doing it. It's become my thing now. Making like horror games explain videos, monsters explain series, like they're always the videos that you guys really love. So it's going to be a thing going forward, basically. I like to do a Let's Play series on a game generally, so you guys can see what the game's about in full. And then afterwards, I like to explain it with a story video and, also look at all the monsters and creepy elements in a separate video as well. Sometimes we do secret videos as well, so like recently we've done White Day, and that has been like a really fun series to do. We also did Mr. Hop's Playhouse, and that did like really well on the channel. And to add further to that question as well, the real reason that I like those videos so much is because I'm kind of like a writer at heart. I like writing scripts for my videos. You can probably tell this video doesn't have a script, and I'm all over the place. My Let's Plays never have scripts, and I'm all over the place. I'm much more focused when I've put a well-written script together and I can deliver a concise video. So I really enjoy writing, telling stories, and that's why the Horror Game Explained series works so well for me, and why I'll keep doing them. But they are a lot of work, so, I can't do them like non-stop. But I will keep doing them wherever possible. And hopefully that's answered your question. I kind of hope it has. I'm so hot at this point in my room that I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Socked asks, how do you constantly come up with high quality videos every week, and how much of a toll does it take on you? Congrats on 1 million subs. Thanks, Socked. Well, I can answer your question, but it's not going to be perhaps the answer people like to hear. The reason that I can make videos like I do, as I say, my videos take 25 hours sometimes to make. The reason that I can make those videos consistently 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes, even more than that, is because I pretty much don't do anything else in my life. I just get up at like 9 a.m. And work on and off through the day until about midnight, 1, 2 a.m. even. I work probably 14 to 16 hour days quite often. I've started taking weekends off where I can now. I've started to actually take a few days a week off. It was worse when I had a job in the day as well, because I would go and work all day at my job and then work all night on YouTube and live on like 4 hours sleep every night. I did that for about 1.5 years, which gave me the ability to become a full-time YouTuber. Wouldn't recommend it unless you'll really like have a strong work ethic and can live on very short amounts of sleep. It's not healthy for you. I did it as a personal choice, but I'm not recommending it. But that's how I make stuff so like often, because literally when I go like and film a video and edit it and upload it, I have the rest of that day off, and then the next couple of days I'm working on the next video all day, all night. And yeah, it's kind of prevented me from having as much interaction with my friends and family as I used to. And I am trying to balance it a bit better these days, because I had burnout a couple of times because I was just pushing myself too hard. But that is basically why I've uploaded so much over the past few years. And the grim reality is that if you want to be like successful on YouTube and make high quality videos, that's how you have to live. Respect to anybody that does it, because it is hard. But also, look after yourselves and your health. That is the biggest takeaway. Don't do it if you can't like handle it. We finally got to the last question, guys. I'm sweating so much. It's time to answer the final question and get out of here. Michael Serrero, I think is the name, and he says, what was the best thing that has happened to you since starting your channel? So I think one of the best things that's happened to me since starting the channel is this. Because that is amazing, and I want to thank you guys again for it. You guys, as I said, are a huge part of what allowed me to get that play button and allowed me to be successful on YouTube. You know, obviously I make the videos, but you guys watch them, and it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship there where I do my part, you guys do your part, the channel's healthy. So you guys are a huge part of the reason why I'm here, and I love you for it, and thank you so much for all your support. So I think the question was the best thing that's happened since starting the channel. Certainly hitting 1 million subscribers is up there. Appearing as a character in Dark Deception was awesome, like literally me in a game as a character with Dorco and 8-Bit Ryan. I remember when that was announced, it was a bit surreal when I was asked to do that. So that's also a really cool thing that happened. And I guess finally, just as I said, having such a caring fan base, having you guys watch my videos and actually care what I have to say about stuff, you know, realizing that was a moment where I realized that like a few years ago that was something I was building, and it just made me feel really good. So thanks for that, guys. Thanks for all your supports, and I hope I've answered your questions well enough. I apologize so much. I'm just so hot today. This room is literally baking hot. I don't have a fan in here. I really need to get one, and I feel like I'm just talking absolute nonsense at this point. But hopefully this video is going to be okay. I've been recording for 45 minutes. I don't know how long it will be when I've trimmed it down. But yeah, we've got to the end of it. So thanks once again, guys, for all your help hitting 1 million. I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing and Q&A. And with that said, I'm off to cool down for a little bit. If you have enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more videos just like this one. And I will see you all on the next one.